Today's case deals with Matt. He is on vacation 400 miles away from his office. Matt has eagerly planned this vacation and is ready to relax. Unfortunately, his company is calling with an urgent issue. Payroll must be submitted today, and no one who can submit payroll is available until tomorrow. Matt can log on to his company's payroll services website, but he doesn't want unwelcome intruders to be able to intercept any sensitive information sent across the internet. Matt does not trust his hotel's wireless network security to transmit sensitive data. But Matt has the Georgia Softworks business tunnel. Prior to acquiring the business tunnel, Matt would never have considered doing something as critical as running payroll from a non-secure public location. With the business tunnel, he can turn any internet connection into a secure and private connection that he can trust to keep his critical information safe from prying eyes. Let's see how it's done. To use the business tunnel, we need access to an SSH server. For Matt's case, we will use an SSH server on the Amazon cloud to which he has a subscription. I will show you how to configure the Georgia Softworks business tunnel in 3 easy steps. First, we will configure the tunnel to the Amazon cloud. Second, we will add a channel to the tunnel for browsing. Third, we will configure a browser to use the tunnel. Once these steps are complete, we can simply turn the tunnel on or off to use it. A key benefit of the business tunnel is the ability to set it and forget it. First, we open the Georgia Softworks business tunnel. We see the configuration summary page. Go to the configuration section, expand configuration, click on tunnels. In the tunnels list section, click new. We will create a tunnel to connect with the SSH server on the Amazon Cloud Network. We need to provide some information about the SSH server we will connect to. We will give our tunnel a name, something that will help us remember the purpose of our tunnel. Anywhere to Amazon Cloud SSH server. Next, we provide the address of the Amazon Cloud SSH server. The tunnel configuration is set to always connect to the SSH server on the Amazon Cloud. So practically anywhere Matt has internet access, he can use this tunnel to connect to his Amazon Cloud SSH server. Once this configuration is set, Matt can forget it. The SSH protocol uses port 22, so we will use 22 as the port number, which is already filled in as the default value. Next, we will configure credentials to access the SSH server. We will enter the username to log on. In Matt's case, he will use public key authentication to connect to his Amazon Cloud SSH server. We will mark the checkbox for Use Public Key, select Import Private Key, and provide the key's location and password. The last group of tunnel information is titled More Details. It lets you select the compression level, protocol, etc. The defaults are usually good, so we will leave them alone. Oh yes, be sure the checkbox Enable this tunnel is selected. Now click OK. The tunnel is now configured. Now let's configure a channel to be used for browsing within the tunnel. Make sure the correct tunnel is selected in the tunnel list, and then under the channel list, we click New. Here we give the channel a name. We give it something that is recognizable. We will use this channel for browsing, so I will name it Browsing Using Amazon Cloud. The forwarding type will be set to dynamic. The local address is set to the loopback address of my laptop, which is 127.0.0.1. The local port number is an arbitrary available port on my laptop. Since the HTTP port is port 80, I like to keep my arbitrary ports recognizable, so I will add 10,000 to 80, giving me 10,080. Dynamic forwarding does not require remote address or remote port, so we will leave the defaults as they are. Be sure the checkbox Enable this tunnel is selected. When this is done, you notice that the Activate button is clickable. You have to activate the configuration changes to get the tunnel service to recognize new configuration information. So let's activate the tunnels. The last thing to do is to configure the browser to use the tunnel and channel information we just set up. This is done using the browser proxy configuration. Each browser manufacturer has its own way to configure the proxy information. Here I am using Internet Explorer 11 to configure the proxy information. We open Internet Explorer. We select Tools, Internet Options, Then we select the Connections tab and click on the LAN Settings button. The dialog opens and we see the proxy server configuration at the bottom. We check the Use a proxy server for your LAN and we see that the Advanced button becomes available, and we click on it. We want a SOCKS proxy server. We enter the address and port that we used in the channel configuration. The address is the loopback address, 127.0.0.1, and the port is 10,080. We click OK, then OK, then OK one more time, and we should be back at the browser. Now the browser should be using the tunnel and channel we configured. We click on Activity, Tunnels, and yes, we see the tunnel we configured. We see the host name, the state, and some server identification information. We also see other tunnel information below. We click on the Channels activity to monitor the channel. Here we can observe the tunnel name and the channel name that we are monitoring, the port forwarding type, whether this channel is activated or not. Additionally, we can observe the number of bytes downloaded or received and the number of bytes uploaded or sent on the channel. Currently they are both 0 because we have not started browsing yet. We can confirm this by looking at the activity on the channel. You can see that every time we refresh the browser, the bytes downloaded and the bytes uploaded increases. So there we go, all done. Now all browsing with Internet Explorer is using the Georgia Softworks Business Tunnel, and you have all the security of SSH. Now that the tunnel is configured, Matt can activate it and forget it. The way it works is that new Internet Explorer browsers will use the new configuration information we set, so they will all be using the Business Tunnel. As long as the tunnel is enabled and the browser remains configured to direct traffic through the proxy, Matt can relax knowing his browsing is being secured by the powerful SSH protocol. The Georgia Softworks Business Tunnel has enabled him to quickly solve an issue that could have easily derailed his vacation. The tunnel has allowed Matt to work with sensitive company information from a location that would be very insecure if not for the strong encryption methods of the Business Tunnel. Yes, with the Georgia Softworks Business Tunnel, you can truly set it and forget it.